Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope you all had a great weekend. Miss Caro here with another virtual art lesson for you guys. It is Monday, so that means it is our Artist Spotlight Day. Okay, so this week we're going to focus on Hurricane Week. Okay, so this particular artist, his name is Marin. He loved to paint about the weather. Okay, particularly hurricanes. So we're going to learn a little bit about him, and then we're going to do an activity inspired by the weather that comes along with hurricanes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started with our stretches, and then we'll dive into our activity. Ready? So let's stretch to our left, stretch to our right, stretch up and down, up and down. One more big one, up and down. Give yourself a big hug, squeeze. Take a deep breath in and relax. Way to go, guys. All right, so stay tuned. Up next, I'm going to play a short clip about Marin. We're going to learn a little bit about him, and then we'll go ahead and meet right back here for our materials. Enjoy.
We're here at the Amon Carter Museum in Fort Worth, Texas, to see the work of Marin. He's a painter from the 1930s and 40s who's at the time considered the greatest living American painter. His seascapes of the coast of Maine and his New York City, Manhattan skylines are done in a way that they're pretty unforgettable.
Of a show such as this, which takes a concise period of Marin's art making and asks us to look at it again and see new things in it, perhaps, such as how Marin laid one of the pathways towards abstract painting, but yet he was never what you would consider an abstract artist. He dabbled, he pushed his art there, but he always kind of retreated, you would say, back into a nature-based reality.
He seems to be an artist that wasn't frightened by much.
No, he was quite fierce in his determination to enjoy every day of painting. It was a work he loved doing. There's a sense of true connection to forces of nature that he is bringing to the surface so that we can experience it. And I think in Marin's case, he was the perfect New England Yankee as a person, and he enjoyed being out sailing, or he enjoyed being on a lobster boat. He was out there traipsing around through his 70s. He would see something that he wanted to paint, but to get to the spot to paint it, he had to climb down rocks with his easels and his paint kit and his canvases, and that's the way he was. He was a rugged individual.
Do you happen to know that, since this is the year before he died, was there any physicality limitation for Marin, either through his body or his eyesight?
I think, yes, he had suffered a heart attack in the late 40s. And so he had slowed down and was ill at the end of his life. And so you do see some of the productivity fall off in his work, but what he did do was a painting such as this, or Spring of the year in which he died, that he's still painting with great vigor and force. I think my role as a curator is to put the opportunity for artists who are painting today to see this is over 60 works. And there are many works that aren't familiar to people who think they know Marin's work. And so for an artist who's painting today, I enjoy this idea that they can come to the Carter and see this body of work and learn something new about John Marin that they may not have considered before.
The craggy, raw subjects of the paintings of John Marin forced us to more than just observe his work. His studio was often a rugged seacoast cliff in Maine, and his mentor was the unyielding honesty of his emotion. We absorb, embrace, and sometimes even retreat from the grip of truth that holds us in the spell of his images. His color, form, and spontaneous impressions came together in a new vocabulary that served as a harbinger and inspiration for the artists and historical movements of the 20th century.
Welcome back, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that video and you got to learn a little bit more about John Marin. So as you can see, he did a variety of paintings, a lot of them influenced by nature, some by the skyline in New York. But one of his most iconic paintings was done in 1944, and it was titled Hurricane. So that's why we incorporated it into today's lesson. Okay, so moving forward, we're going to do a craft inspired by the weather that comes along during hurricane season, which starts now in the month of June. All right, so you guys are going to need some paint. You're going to need yellow, red, blue, and green. If you don't have paint, it's okay. You can use markers, color pencils, crayons, whatever you have on hand at home. If you are using paint though, you're going to need a paintbrush and some water. You're going to need a pair of scissors, some glue. For this activity, I recommend liquid. You're going to need a couple of sheets of colored paper. You're going to need some black, some yellow, some blue, some white. You're going to need some cotton, and you're going to need to print these out. If you don't have a printer, it's okay, you can try and draw these on your own. Okay, these are here for guidance. All right, and you're going to need something to decorate your umbrella. I'm going to be using these little rhinestones. I've actually already picked out the two that I want for my umbrella. I'm going to be using 2 green hearts, you guessed it, for the WOW logo. Okay, so these are going to go on my umbrella. Alright, so go ahead and take the next minute to gather your materials, and then we'll meet right back here to get started on our craft. Guys, welcome back. I hope you were able to grab your materials fairly easily. It is time to get started on our craft. Alright, so our first step is to grab our black construction paper. This is going to be the base or the background of our craft. Okay, the reason it is black is because during our rainy and hurricane season, the skies are usually very dark. Okay, so we're going to use this as our background. Okay, our next step is going to be to grab our template of our clouds. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and cut them out. So there's 3 of them here. You can use 1, 2, 3, however many you'd like. I'm gonna go ahead and cut out all 3. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these out. And once I cut it out, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. Okay, there's 2 steps to our clouds. Okay, so step 1 is what we're doing now. Okay, so I have my first cloud. I'm going to go ahead, trim this edge here. Okay, and I'm going to add some glue to the back of my cloud. Okay, not too much because you don't want your paper to get really soggy. Okay. Alrighty, and I'm going to place this one right up here in this corner. Okay, now that I've done that, I'm going to go on to my second step, which is to grab some of my cotton. Okay, and I'm going to fluff it up a little bit. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to start placing it and gluing it onto my cloud. Okay, so remember you can pull it apart and mold it the way you want to fill up your cloud. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on to my cloud. Okay, I'm going to grab some more cotton. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing to the rest of the cloud. I'm going to fill it up with some glue and cotton. Okay, so same thing, I'm going to grab cotton, pull it apart a little bit, and mold it to the shape that I want. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it up to the camera so that you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, so I've done my first cloud. And there it is. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do that with the next 2 clouds. So take the next minute to cut out your clouds, assemble them on your black paper, and then we'll meet right back here for our next step. Alright guys, welcome back. I've gone ahead and cut out my clouds and assembled them onto my paper. So I have my 3 clouds here waiting for the rest of the craft. Alright, so our next step is going to be to get our umbrella. Alright, we're going to go ahead and cut it out. So I'm going to go ahead, cut around the edges. Remember, if you don't have a printer at home, you can always draw this on a white sheet of paper and then cut it out. Okay, almost done cutting it out. Okay, I've gone ahead and cut out my umbrella. Now I'm going to glue it on to my background. Okay, so it's okay if it overlaps on the cloud a little bit. Remember, you can assemble it however you like. Wherever you want to place the umbrella is totally okay. Doesn't have to be identical. Okay. So I've gone ahead and glued my umbrella on. Alright, and I'm going to move on to my next step. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab my paint palette and I'm going to start painting my umbrella. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab my paintbrush with water. Okay, I'm going to wet my paintbrush a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to start off with some blue paint. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab my umbrella and I'm going to fill in just this section. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean off my brush a little bit. Now I'm going to grab some of my orange red. It's a little bit of a mix. And I'm going to do the next section in this color. Okay, I'm going to do the top. And I'm going to do this bottom piece here. Alright, I'm going to clean off my brush again. Now I'm going to use my green. To paint this part. Okay, and I'm going to paint the rest of the handle. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and clean my paintbrush one last time. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and use my yellow now. Okay, so I've gone ahead, grab some yellow, and I'm doing the last section of my umbrella. Alrighty. So this is what you should have for now. You should have your black background, your clouds, and your umbrella. I'm going to go ahead and give it a minute to dry before I start adding my finishing touches. Alright guys, welcome back. My umbrella is dry, so I'm going to go ahead and add some finishing touches to my craft. So remember in our template we had we're going to cut these out. You can cut them out directly here and paint them with yellow paint, or you can use construction paper. Alright, for this demonstration I'm going to go ahead and cut them directly from the white paper. I'm going to glue them on, and then I'm going to use my yellow paint to go ahead and add some color to my lightning bolts. Alright, and you can arrange these however you want on your artwork. You can have them floating, you can have them directly under a cloud, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm going to put this one up here on this corner. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my yellow paint to add color to it. Okay, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut out another one. And then we're going to do the same. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, cut out this lightning bolt. Okay, and then I'm going to glue it directly on to my background so that you can see and it'll stand out against the black. So that's another thing about the black background, it helps the colors stand out more. So the yellow is going to give it a nice contrast for the lightning bolt, and I'm going to put this one directly under a cloud so it looks like it's coming from the cloud. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, glue it right under this cloud right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my other thunderbolts and glue them on. I'm going to put one down here, so I'm going to add some glue here. Okay, I'm going to add, see, another one here. Alright, and maybe one more up here coming out of this cloud. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and grab my yellow paint, and I'm going to paint the bolts. Okay, there's one, painting another one, and one last one. Okay, then I'm going to bring it up to the camera so you guys can see it. Alright guys, there is my finished product. There's one last thing, one last detail that I'm going to add on before I finish. Remember, I had picked out my two little hearts to decorate my umbrella. So I'm going to go ahead and put 2 dots of blue up at the top to incorporate my wow hearts. So one here and one here. Alright, now it is finished. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson and that you're able to recreate this at home. Make sure that you have fun doing this and take pictures, take videos, and tag us on social media. Alright guys, I'll see you next time, and I wish you well. Also, take the next 10 minutes to finish this activity and any other activities related to our lesson.